Well, in today's video, we're going to be getting the combine ready to do wheat in 2023. I have a bearing to replace on the grain unload on that short drive shaft right there. We're dumping the oil out of it, going to change the oil. I changed the oil before I started corn, and we've got 12 hours shy of 200 hours on the engine, and we put 144 hours on the separator, combine and corn. We did 800 acres with it this year, and I want to just get it ready for wheat. I could park it where we usually park it, and then when we go to do wheat next year, I can just jump in it, pull it out of storage. We'll have to fold the bin extension out, put the tarp on it, and go right into wheat. So that's what we're working on here right now. It shouldn't take long to change that bearing out. We'll run a grease gun around it as well. The roads are nice and clean today. It is Sunday, December 4th. What are you gonna do today? Spread manure. So he's going to be operating equipment today. We're not going to be able to show him operating any equipment because that's not allowed. It's child abuse. So, but other than that, we don't really need to do anything else. We've got to raise the front drum up, speed it up. What else? We just set the screens, just basic stuff. I don't know, did I say we were going to run a grease gun around it too? So yeah, we're going to do that as well. Change the fuel filters, air filters, and we're also going to put one of them bait pails up in the cab there. We'll show you that here a little later on. So I ended up doing a full service on the combine, got the oil changed all the filters on it. We have to unbolt the straw chopper there, move that forward, and then take out that baffle piece that's in the back, and then we've got to work on our bearing. Then we've got a pin to put in the unloading auger as well. Another thing that we're working on is this Husky pump. We bought 2 of these, and we have 3 of them all together. Well, we have 5 now, but we had one that had a fan impeller break on it, so we need to bring that in and rebuild it. And then we bought one of the other new pumps for the new barn edition, so this will give us an extra pump. And this one here, we had to actually move it up because the pit that it's going to go into is not as deep as what we had the pump figured for. So we just loosened up these U-bolts here, slid the pump up a few inches, and then we'll be able to put it in the hole that the other one came out of. So this is the same as the other pumps. The back end or the bottom end of it is a little different than the other ones. This has got an actual bearing box on it. We're going to give this a try and see how that goes. So we'll get this up into place and we'll show you how this works once we get it set up and going here. I just have to weld something on here so that this pipe can't walk out, because that's happened before. And then we had to cut off a couple of the hose holders, so we need to get that welded back on there just to hold this hose in place here. I'll probably weld it right to the actual U-bolt there. So we better get on it, and when these guys get back around here, we can get this in the drink. So we got that one ready to go in the drink. Nate's gonna run up in there, run up, dump that in, and this is the one that came out of there. This one here needs rebuilt. The shaft is broke down towards the bottom here. We'll have to put a new fan, impeller, and shaft in it. And we've got a couple of blown hoses on it and whatever, so we'll get that addressed here in the next couple days. Well, what do you say we take the little cab over up there, help get that in there, huh? Yeah. This is Jared's little cab over truck here. He ended up buying a box at Central Tractor, and he's got a lot of tools in there. It's like the twin screw is having a little trouble getting in the driveway there. Well, we got this pump ready to go here, and this is what we call the little room pit. It's actually in off the side of the parlor. The front pit is over there, and then the back pit is on the other end of this pit here. So we actually have two pumps that are working on this one pit here. So we've got anchors in the concrete. We can back the pump over the top of that, set that down in the anchors, and then we can leave the pump in place, and we don't have to worry about having a tractor actually hooked to the 3-point hitch on it. So he's going to get that backed in there. I think that agitation unit there might be a little too tall, but we'll see how it goes here. This is a 4620. Got some engine work that we want to do to this. That's why there's no hood on it, and it hasn't had a hood on it in about 8-9 months now. Works great for a job like this because we can see what's going on. Go back farther.
It's gonna hit no matter how far back I go. Look at it.
What is the other one? Was the fitting on the?
It's gotta be curved.
Is the? Yeah, but is the other cylinder?
On the other side, it's going to hit that bracket. It doesn't matter what side it's going to hit.
Those brackets are centered. We could cut that edge off too.
We'll just loosen this up and turn it.
Alright.
Right? This. It shouldn't fall. I don't know. We might have to go look at one of the other ones. Where else could it be though? Oh,
well,
that's gonna clear. That's the way it is.
I know all of them are close, but I thought
That's gonna clear.
on one of these, I thought I had the brackets off center.
The only other way you could do it is if you turn the cylinder.
Well, not really, because that frickin' cylinder, the clevis, unless, well, the fitting is on the bottom.
You'd have to take
You'd have to take that cylinder apart
Yeah.
and turn that thing around and put it on top.
I think they're all
It could actually go on the bottom. I don't think it would hurt anything on the bottom, but
I think they're all.
the other one, you know, the other one, what we should do is take the cylinder apart before we even use it. And then when we rebuild the one that's down there, do the same thing. Just take the cylinder apart and turn it 180 degrees. On these cylinders, there's 2 ports on the base. There's one at 3 o'clock, one down at 6 o'clock. We need to turn that 180 degrees to put that one up here at 12. All right, see if that works. That should work. It's just too close for comfort right there. They don't want the hose on the top because of the power shaft, so, which the power shaft should never hurt that anyways. Come back a little. Yeah, right there. You've just got to run your cylinder, Jared. There it goes.
Give it a minute, watch. It always does this, I don't know why.
All the pumps work slow, I don't know why.
Alright, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
That pin we can't put in. That one we can, and these two, you don't need that one. Alright, so we have this setting in place. We need to get our power shaft on, get our pipe hooked up.
what's the front pit? Did we cut it off and move it, or is it the back pit and the little ring
One
that
of
we
them I
off
cut
and
that
move it?
gusset so that it would go in there. But
Yeah, but the front pit is mounted different somehow.
yeah.
Might have to look at that.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to make all.
So-
Well, the front pit we just gotta.
Yeah. Well, that agitation port, yeah, that's. I wonder if we do want to take that off, because that's gonna cause problems.
Tim will turn it, and next minute we're all good.
Yeah, it'll,
Why?
because it'll hit the.
Where's it gonna hit the cement?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, he's got a point. It's usually always facing this way.
Yeah.
What,
If you bring it back this way, it'll be down.
Are you using the top tee when you go over in that corner? 'Cause I know what.
How many times you gonna use it?
How many times?
How many times you gonna use it?
I'd like to see it fire down the hallway more. is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out.
Okay. All right.
She's a virgin. You gotta be special with her.
Yeah, going easy. Yeah, spin on it.
All right, fire it up.
All right. So got the 4250 on the pump. We're gonna leave this one right here. And what he's gonna do is power the hydraulics. We gotta find out if we've got these hydraulics going the right way. All right, so go forward with number 1.
That was open. It was closed.
It was closed. All right, go back. All right, that one's reversed.
I think. I don't know. Maybe we should test it. Either that or take the pipe off.
Yeah, we probably should just take the pipe off. It'd be a lot easier. Alright, That's forward,
Oh my god.
forward,
You did it.
and then go back. All right. Now, power number 2. Which way do you got it powered? Alright, that's opening and closing the valve.
That just closed it?
That's closed it. That's open.
Looks like it's really slow.
Yeah. So now,
Number 2 is just going all the way up.
we don't want it all the way up.
No.
Bottom T, open. And then you got reflector up and down, and then we've got turn.
Let me turn this so we're not going to
And that end has got up and down on it. So we've got this pump here. Jared put a T in this line here so that we can
close up.
run the load valve from the tractor and power the hydraulics and run it from the ground. Most of the time we are running it from the seat of the tractor.
We just got to flip number 2.
If,
Not number 1, just number 2.
so that's locked in, or so our other pumps don't have that option on them in order to be able to run the load from that valve bank there. So just got to switch our hoses, and then we'll put some zip ties on these hoses so that we know which way is which. Here, this one's not in there.
Here, try that number 2 and make sure we didn't. We might not have. I wouldn't do it yet. Maybe we didn't get it in the right spot. All right, power number 2 forward. Is that forward? Got that locked in? Yeah. It's not too far. Might be in the flow. You got that plastic lever down? That's forward or back? Okay. Alright, oh, number 1 is closed. Might as well try it.
All right, go ahead. Is it open?
It is. I mean, it just got going, so it's not gonna. Let me go close the bottom.
So that pump is right there, and we're pushing manure down this tunnel here. See it now? There, it's really moving there now. Boy, that is really moving it. Wide open. How many hours is it at? Wide open. So this pump is really drawing the horsepower. T's closed, I'll open that one. She ain't got the power to run it.
Let's go get the 4620.
Alright. Hey, the top one's open. We gotta open it. So we're open. All we are is the top. So start it up again.
All I had was open was the top, and that's all it would do is 1500.
Yeah, right there. So let's go again, and I'll make sure the bottom is closed. Yeah, but I screwed around with it. All right, both are closed. Alright, we're gonna try the. Alright, we're gonna put 60/30 on. We're gonna put some horsepower on there. So we'll see how that runs. Alright, so we have the 60/30 on here. We're going to the horsepower. We're gonna have to watch the gearbox on this. This gearbox is probably gonna get hot. And the faster that pump turns, the more power it takes. So you could run this pump with a 40/20 just running at like 1,000 engine RPMs, but as soon as you start giving it more juice, it takes more and more power. That's right at 1,600 RPMs. Yeah, but I have to. We gotta keep an eye on that gearbox though. We wanna make sure that gearbox doesn't get hot, because that's really turning hard. I don't know. There it goes. There could be a lot of sand down at this end too. I can't lock that lever forward. Really got it disrupted in there. Doing a heck of a job of agitating. Could just be a lot of sand that's just going to that pump.
And really, tractor just died.
Oh, it's truck's loaded.
Oh, that was open. Well, oh my God. Wow. We gotta go get the 8360 or the 8320. That's gonna fire it. That's making it, how many RPMs is it doing?
It's like 1600.
That's making it almost to that second slot.
Yeah. And if we had the other new pump out there, we could probably come right inside the barn with it.
Well, now we gotta go get the other tractor. This big 10 liter didn't do any better than the 4250.
Wow.
No better.
Now, well, we're into the following day. We've got a hydraulic cylinder for a 320 skid steer sitting on the bench over there that I need to rebuild. Jared's working on this manure pump. This came out of what we call the little room pit, where we put the new pump in. This pump here is a 1-to-1. In other words, the fan turns the same speed as the PTO on the tractor. That pump that we put in here yesterday draws a lot of horsepower and it pumps a lot of manure. We're not sure what's going on with that. We've got to get the pump up out of the manure and mark the shafts and make sure that's a 1-to-1. We've got another new pump sitting outside that we did check. That is correct. So we just have to figure that out. We put the 7200 on it yesterday after the 6030 was on there, and that didn't even want to run it as good as the 4250 did. So we've got the fan was wore out on this. I didn't get a video of that, but actually the fan wasn't wore out, it was broke. The shaft, it got the fan, the floating on one of the paddles on the fan itself was bent, and it caused it to run off center. Then it wallered up the shaft and it ended up breaking itself. So we're going to put a new housing on this one, new shaft, new fan, all that. And then we've got to switch this with the back pit pump, pull that one out. That one needs rebuilt. Jared's got some hoses that he's replacing on this. The combine's kind of getting put out the back burner for now. We're gonna have to get after that here in a little while, once we get our other projects done and out of the way. So we'll show you what this hydraulic cylinder looks like here. I've got it cleaned up. This is a main boom lift cylinder. What we're gonna have to do, there's a snap ring right here that we're gonna take off. That's gonna allow us to push the end of this, the top of the cylinder down in, and well, I'll show you once we get going on it here. Well, we have the cylinder setting in the vise, the end cap. I've got the snap ring removed from it, and then I pushed the end cap down in the barrel of the cylinder a little ways here. And then what we have is a plastic ring. There's a groove just inside the bore of this cylinder. You can kind of see it in there. And that is what the snap ring on this end cap comes into, so that it can't come out the end of the barrel on the cylinder. In these rebuild kits, they give you these little plastic rings. This is going to fill the void up that is in this inner groove on this cylinder. Now, I had to get another kit from John Deere because the original kit that I had did not have the O-ring in it. or the little plastic ring that's going to allow us to get that piece out. Now, I had to go for some parts here this morning. I had to go all the way out to Arcade, New York and get some parts. Jared's got this pump done, and now we are just getting back to this project here. So we're going to slide this piece in there. I believe it is in there. Alright, so I got this removed from the cylinder. The rod, that is. I don't know what has failed on this, but we're just going to go ahead and put all new O-rings on there. And then put it back together. Now this little guy here, this fits in this groove. Like this. I couldn't get that to fit in there right, and I actually had to cut a little bit of it off. I was afraid that it wasn't going to work. It did work, and I was able to get it out. Now, this is the new pump that we put in yesterday, and it was requiring all kinds of horsepower to run it. 4250 didn't like it. 6030 didn't like it, and this 7200 hated it. So what they have found is the fan impeller was not secured into place, and that fan impeller came down and it actually rubbed against the housing, so that's what was taking all of the horsepower. So they're going to get that off in there, and they're going to get it cleaned up and then put it back on. Apparently there's a washer that's supposed to weld to the impeller itself, we think. We're waiting on confirmation of that. This is the washer right here, and it's got a bevel on it like you would drop a bunch of weld in there, and we're just kind of waiting on confirmation on that exact procedure going into place. But I think you got to get 2 bars on there in equal spots. It's cocking it.
Hit it with the hammer while I was...
Yeah, just tap on a fan blade. Yeah, there it goes. Watch your feet when that comes off. You could probably get back in there with your hands now. Just watch it.
You were running one bar and I was running the other.
Yeah, it's... Just watch it, Nate. Once that comes off, it could... It's coming.
That one's in the danger.
Okay, so they're going to get this cleaned up.
Sure. Is there a keyway in there?
And
Yeah, there is.
they'll get this cleaned up and then push it back on there. And
It looks like that washer is
welded.
supposed to be welded.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else that holds it on there.
No.
And we did all of this for nothing other than we don't know.
Yeah.
Other than we don't know, so we got to find out.
Alright, we've got this cylinder rod. All the O-rings and the packings and everything are replaced. And we're just going to shove it back into that barrel and get it back on the machine here. All right, we've got this guy all back together. Now it just has to get put onto the machine here. It's a little bit of a challenge to get the top cap down in there. Jason had to give me a hand to get 3 screwdrivers on there. Sometimes you can get a hose clamp around it to get it started, and then once it starts, it goes in. So we'll get that on the machine here and try it out. Well, Sarge ended up putting the cylinder back on the skid steer, and it is ready to go. It was this left-hand side boom cylinder right here. It kind of tucks in there. When this thing was brand new, they both leaked, and I think Kaz ended up putting one on and they rebuilt the other one, and it didn't last, so I don't recall which one they replaced. But she is good to go now. By the way, one of the Kubota skid steers, the engine went on it the other day. So, yeah. That's how that works. Might as well put it right across the road, Sarge. So the Kubota skid steers are a pile of junk. John Deere is where it's at.